Hey, W here. Welcome to my workshop. Today's little project is a simple one, but not unimportant. This is my This is my nice leather bag, and I mean nice because it's nicely made. It's good leather, nice and thick, and yeah, good quality leather bag. But it looks terrible because I use it a lot, and I use it in the rain and the shine and everything else, and just recently it was raining a lot. So yeah, so it's time to make this, give this a bit of a treatment, some maintenance. And as you can see, it's sort of wet, so I'm sort of dirty. I mean, so I'll just start by brushing it, I think. And the thing is, a shoe is made of leather, and this bag is made of leather. So you can do kind of many of the same things. Like this is just a shoe brush, and I can use that to brush down and get some of the dirt off. There's some. I do treat this thing with this leather grease on a regular basis. So yeah, so it's actually. That keeps it maintainable in that, yeah, it's been a while, I can tell, but I can still get the dirt off. It's sort of like the surface has been treated before, and you can get the dirt off. So I don't need to, like, there's not a lot of dirt in it. It's just discolored and sad because it needs a little bit of a treatment. So let's do that, and it's just leather grease. That's my preferred approach to this anyway. And I just apply it, this is an old paintbrush, and I just apply it liberally with this old paintbrush. Just really get it in there, because that's what's gonna make this leather happy again and make it pretty again. Leather is it's a very generous material. If you take care of it, it will stay, it will look good for a long time. Yeah. So there isn't much technique or creativity in this one, but it's highly satisfying to do. So yeah, and an important thing, if you have leather goods, boots, bags, belts, take care of them, please. They will pay you back for it. Now it's actually kind of a cool bag. There are no stitches, not one, in this bag. There's this assembly, sort of these sides overlap, and then the shoulder strap goes in through them, through these in the side, and that's riveted together. And that's the only assembly in the entire bag. So, and that also means it lasts well, because there isn't a lot that can break. One of the things that tends to, or one of the places where, like boots, for example, tend to give in over time, yeah, well, that's in the stitching, because the leather's going to be fine, or a lot of the leather's going to be mostly fine. So, yeah. That's one of the many reasons I like this bag. And you can already see it. Even this badly discolored, sad leather is starting to already get a little bit of a glow left, or a glow back. You can actually see that, oh, well, this is still good leather, and it's starting to get its glow already. Instead of being just a dirty old leather bag, it's starting to look again like a piece of nice craftsmanship already, just from getting this layer of leather grease on it. And this is one of the vulnerable parts, and even that, this is years old, many years old. I think it's 10 years old, probably more actually. And I paid a pretty penny for it. I did, for my budgets anyway. It was for me, this was a very expensive acquisition. I had a little money at the time, something went well in the business or whatever, I don't remember. but I felt like I could afford to give myself a gift of a really nice leather bag that I would enjoy for many years, and by Jove, I really have. I'm still very happy. I mean, almost every day I appreciate this. I have this sort of principle, if you will, that I try to go by in my life. I have many, but I have this idea that if you spend your money right, if you buy things that are the right, if you choose carefully, I guess, well, then the joy of having made that choice and made that acquisition, got that nice thing that you think that you really coveted, getting that lovely things such as this, the joy of it will last far longer than any reservation or even sense of loss at having parted with the money you paid for it. If the thing is worth it, yeah, it will pay you back in joy many times over the loss, in generous air quotes here, loss in money that you incurred to acquire it. Now, this is a weak spot. You can see that this is, the leather is darkened here and it's sort of lightened here, and it doesn't look great. It really took a beating. Like I said, it got really, really wet. We're talking soaked. I might as well just thrown it in the harbor if not for the salt. But my experience is, get this in there and really give it and get it, and also, of course, after I've done this, I put a lot of leather grease on it. You really rub it in, as you can see, and then I'm going to let it, soak, let it dry until or before I do anything. Before I do, actually, I'm going to give it a brush, but not until it's properly dried and soaked in. And then, yeah, now the front. And the front is even more beat up. I maybe should have worn gloves for this, but it's okay. It really isn't a bad chemical, this the grease here. Rather natural, even though, that's no guarantee of anything. Hemlock is a natural thing too. But yeah, I think I'll be okay. Yeah, and it's just like with a boot or a shoe. It's a matter of really getting into the corners and creases and everywhere. Just really getting it in there. Hey. And like I said, just like before, even though this is still 10 or 15-year-old beat up leather, which has had a rough time lately during this winter, already, just giving it the grease here, already it's starting to show its qualities. I love this. It's an awesome material, obviously. Yep. And this the bottom here, I don't know if you noticed that there were some sort of light spots, which was obviously where it's the bottom of it is what gets dropped on the floor and on the ground and all that when I put it down. The bottom takes the brunt of that, and it gets scuffed and scratched to the point where it's almost like the hide of the hide, or the outermost layer, gets scratched off, and it gets this sort of lightness to it. But again, my experience tells me that it's probably going to be fine once this leather grease soaks in well and good. You can see it here. See these sort of light spots there, sort of wear and tear. And as soon as you get some leather grease in there, they start to go away. Start to get, you know, leather starts to reacquire some of its health, and hopefully, and probably, at least based on my experience, it will regain more of it over time as the leather grease soaks in and sort of sets in there. I don't know. I don't want to say dries or hardens because I'm not actually sure what it does. It probably sets in some way, and it's probably a hardening of sorts, but I don't know which kind. I don't know if it dries or if it cures or any of that. I don't know. If anyone knows, you can put it in the comments. I'm sure we would all like to know. Nice, thick, generous, rich layer of leather grease on this thing. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. I like it. Yeah. Go well. And of course the shoulder strap. Very important. I don't actually, I don't deliberately leather grease the back surface. I don't know if you're supposed to do that actually, but I don't think so. It's not my impression that you do that. But the front face, the smooth side, gets happy helping. A lot of grease on there. And now if this was wax, I would apply heat to get it to, so like if I was waxing a piece of fabric, which I'm going to be doing for another project, I hope I get to show you that, I would apply heat, but I don't think you're supposed to do that with this. I've never done it. If I should, again, I hope someone's going to tell me that I'm wrong. But until someone with some sort of credibility tells me that I should apply heat to this, I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna do it like this. I gotta say, like I said, this is an aging bag at this point, and I am not kind to it. You can see that it's a used piece. I gotta say, it holds up so well. No repairs. I've done one thing. I'll just show you. It's kind of funny actually, because the leather does stretch over time, if only a little, and it did. So the straps got a little too long, and I could go back to the guy I bought it from. He's a leathersmith. That's his name, or his company's name, Leathersmith. And he's in the city. I could just go back and have him shorten it, or I could do it myself. But I didn't want to cut into it, so here's what I did. I just gonna reach in here. I had this block. This is just a test print, 3D print. So I pulled the strap in a little, like so, and then I put the block on the inside. So there's actually, it takes up a little bit of space on the inside because there's a loop in there, which makes the shoulder strap just these a couple of inches shorter than I want it. And it's I don't know if it's permanent. I don't know if it's a permanent solution. I've had it for some months, but it fixes my problem, and it's non-destructive. So, and I don't need for something to squeeze into the bag and fill all of it. Even if I put my laptop in it, there's still more than enough room. So, yeah, that's just my little cowboy repair. I think we're just about there. I think all of the surface is now coated with a generous covering of leather grease. And all that's left to do is let the poor thing dry out and soak in, and whatever it is that it does. Oh, there's actually just a little bit of lightness here, which I interpret to mean that it's actually the leather has swallowed all the grease and can still take more. That's how I interpret it. When I put on, because it looked like this before, it was completely dark, and then it had a little while I was doing the other side, and then it was a little, when I turned it over, it had lightened a little bit. I think it's because I hadn't soaked whatever, opening in the pores or whatever happened wasn't properly soaked. So I just gave that a little bit more. And I think maybe this, rub that in a little bit. Yeah. But other than that, I think we're good. I think we're pretty good. I think I'll just leave it here to do its thing. Go wash my hands, and then I'll get back to you guys for the next step, which is brushing and finishing.